What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Box. Is it a Red Max? Is it? So, I sold the muscle truck yesterday. Surprisingly enough, it went to a 18-year-old kid buying his first vehicle. Oh, I loved it. And the kid, I guess he worked and saved up his money and everything. Perfect, you know? Great story. So, I can't tell you where this came from, because it's supposed to be somewhat of a secret. Got it packed in there real nice. I'm going to have to just start taking this stuff out of here. So since I sold the muscle truck, I was in need of a little bit more muscle in my life. So let's open this up, see what we got in here. Ooh, the big reveal. It's not red. It's orange. All right, those who are in the know would probably recognize this chainsaw, but there's probably not that many people in the know to know this chainsaw. But this is a legit race saw, gasoline. It runs on gas, nothing like nitromethane or anything like that. But it is set up as an actual race saw. Let's have a look at it. This is a Husqvarna 365 Special. The top on it is a 372 XP X-Torque top, because it needed to have extra room. You know, I needed that tall top to have room for what's underneath. And boy, is this thing special. Isn't that special? Man, look at that fuel line. God, that's huge. Bada bing. Woo, baby. Isn't that cool? Two-piece cylinder, you know, separate head here, decompression valve right in the top there. How much compression has this thing got? That's goofy. It's got a lot of compression. But I'm telling you, it doesn't have compression like that 281 that Cajun built for me. But it definitely has compression. This carburetor, I'm telling you, I don't know what this is. Oh my God. That is freaking awesome. All right, there's no boost or anything like that in the piston. The exhaust, as you can see, is just a clear through. We got a complete open in the front. The stock can. On the clutch side here, it's opened up so that we have free release of all the chips. I believe that's an 8-pin sprocket. Yep, 8-pin sprocket. And the carburetor, I'm looking real quick for a name on the carburetor. I don't see anything right offhand here. There might be a name behind that, so let me take that off real quick. That don't fit. There it is. Oh, it says it right there on top of this. It's a Tillotson. I figured it was going to be a Tillotson. You know, I don't know why exactly, but I am pretty sure that I'm right whenever I say that if someone was to ask what the very best carburetors were, the answer typically is going to be a Tillotson. A Tillotson carburetor. They are no longer in business as far as I know. Haven't been for quite a long time. I believe that they were made out of Ireland. Is that right? I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. But it only has one impulse setup. Yeah. It's going to the case for the impulse, just like normal. Has a block there for the intake for this carburetor to bolt to. That little block for the intake just appears, it doesn't appear to be welded on at all. Looks like probably they machined it. I don't know. I'm not taking it apart further. And, you know, whoever built this saw, their secrets are going to be safe. I'm not going to share them because some things need to stay secret in order for you to function in this community. Some people don't want to share their secrets. I've heard from people that this is the way that Hot Saws 101 is. He seems to build some ridiculously good power saws. And like if you get a port job from him, he makes you sign a contract that you'll never disclose his port numbers and things like that. Some people have different thoughts about that, like, oh, that's wrong and stuff, you know. I don't know, it's not to me. You're allowed to have secrets. I get it. But I will show you so you can see what this looks like and things. And if I ever get in there to that cylinder, I would show that as well, but I wouldn't give away any numbers or anything like that. But I believe this was built, I'm not 100% sure, so I'm just not going to throw anything out there. But the brake has been removed. We don't even want to deal with something like that because I've heard stories of people getting yelled at by old timers because they left the brake on. You got to get that brake off because you never know, you could accidentally set the brake and everything. And, you know, it is what it is. It appears to have a completely stock flywheel and probably a completely stock ignition system. Probably going to be advanced and things of that nature, but yeah, they did some cutting on the case to make way for that carburetor. I don't know when I'll get a chance to run this thing, but I do know that the person who sold it to me recommended that if I do one of my bigger oak cuts. Like I tend to, the gentle glide, the tug up, and the vice grip where I dog it in. Do them one cut at a time, meaning these things run hot. They're really, really set up to just be used in competition where you're going zing, 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 and we're done. Shut it down. But those big oak cuts are going to be those big oak cuts. And they take a long time, even with a real fast saw. And so he was like, it'd be better to just go ahead and do one cut and then shut the saw off for a few minutes, allow it to cool off a little bit, and then do the next cut, and so on. And that's what I'll do, because this is a legit saw that I want to take care of and use in the future. It's very cool. Very, very cool. There's no choking apparatus whatsoever. I'll let you look in there at the carburetor. Maybe you can see this, hopefully. And yeah, my first somewhat legit race saw. Very cool. I gotta set up something so that I can squirt gas in there. Also, look at that, the throttle safety is missing. We don't want anything left to chance, and we want to be able to just pull that trigger and not have anything cause a stumble. Let me see. I bet you it doesn't have a fuel filter. I don't know. I would think it doesn't even have a fuel filter. No, it does. It does. It has a fuel filter. But that fuel line, look how big that fuel line is. My goodness, that thing moves some fuel. If it can even feel that, wow. That's that's saying something. So the gentleman told me about the starting procedure. Basically, you put some squirts in there and fire it up, try and get it to run. He said with the throttle lock in place. All right, squirt it up, pull it. It should hit, and take the throttle lock off and try and keep it running. But do that until it primes and will stay running on its own. That's what I was told. Race chain. Now, I will not do a close-up of this race chain because, again, some secrets need to be kept. People get real finicky about this stuff, and if I ever make one on my own, then maybe I'll show it. Probably I'll show it, But I did not make this race chain. And the gentleman or lady who I got this from made it very clear that he did not, she did not, they did not want secrets revealed. But look at this. This is how you take care of these race chains. And now, anybody that's out there that has racing experience, please let me know if I'm right in this. I was told by a certain Billy Goat Gruff that one of his chains has lasted him 20 years. All right? Because you're only running it maybe 5 times a year, and whenever you do run it, you're running it in perfect, clean softwood of some sort. And so he told me, he said, yeah, he's had it for 20 years and he's only sharpened it 3 times. So that's why you take care of these things. Whenever you get one, you don't just mess about. Take good care of it. And I am going to take good care of this. So wow, that is spectacular, truly. I can tell you, because it's got that 72 in there, I know that this was an Oregon chain. 72 on the Oregon chains, whenever they have them on the drive links here, that represents 3/8 050 gauge. And I can still see, I can read Oregon. But man, those teeth are tiny. It has been taken down like crazy. Like crazy. I bet you that is going to eat some softwood. And this is a 60 drive link setup for a 16-inch bar. And I have a bar that I think is going to work out perfect for this. Let me grab that real quick. We'll lace it up and dream together. Yep. With these Carlton bars, you kind of got to know, like this says D7 on it. I'm used to D009 for these Huskies. So anyways, this should fit just right. Let's bring it up. There's a lot of catches in this. Probably just needs to be oiled. There we go. Oh, isn't that badass? Isn't that awesome? Man. There we go. Oh yeah. Good enough for now, because all we're doing is showing it off. That's a tiny little bar. Should rip. Should really, really rip. All right, I'm taking that right back off of there, because I will not run this chain in anything but good, clean pine or poplar, and that's it. That's it. And I mean, I'll run it say once for the channel probably, but then it'll never get ran unless I'm at a race, racing it. So that means I need to make a proper 16-inch 60 drive link chain for this saw before I can run it. That is going right back into the cloth. I'm telling you, whenever you get one of these race chains, guys, if you ever do, which most people never will, ever, you've got to respect it, take care of it, because they are big money. Most of the time, a person who makes a race chain, they're not going to make one for you unless they know you and they know that you're going to keep their secrets and things of that nature. And I will definitely keep the secrets of this one. And we will keep this in a nice spot. You know, this right here, to have somebody make one for you, if you can find a person to do it, you know, you're looking at $200 to $300 for this right here. And that's a lot of money for a race chain. Or that's a lot of money for a chain, right? But if I can take care of this and it lasts me for even a few years, you know, it's worth the investment, I think. So, real quick, before I shut off this video and go make a chain for it so that I can run it. I mean, I might go ahead and just throw my 20-inch bar and chain setup on there. I don't know. I'll try and start it probably off camera and everything, and I don't know. I probably won't be capable of just not trying to start it today. But my arm, you know, is healing. I want to be careful with it and everything. But before we do that, one last look. And another thing that you should see has a piece of 1/2-inch conduit put on right there, so that works as a nice little kickstand for it. It's not wanting to tilt over to this side. It won't be wanting to go up this way, because, you know, they sit it down on the ground. Either you do a hot start or a cold start. Almost always it's from the ground, from what I know. So the saw is sitting on the ground and you pick it up from that. So the last thing that people want to do is actually allow that expensive chain to touch the dirt in any way. So one of those little kickstands right there are really nice. And I'll be able to learn a lot with this saw. And my original plan, we'll see if I stick to it, I don't know. My original plan was to rape this thing of all of its parts. Take them all, you know, and put them on my Johnson Red 2165. And then I would build this thing as a 372 and sell it and make some of my money back. We'll see if I go that route. I don't know. What is really going to hamper everything is if I open it up and the crankshaft has work done to it. You know, what do they call it? Like, you kind of make the crankshaft into like a turbine, right? So, you know, you put the vanes on the crankshaft. Maybe it has a full circle crank. I don't know. But if I look at it further and I find that the crank has, gosh, I keep burping, that stuff coming up. If I look at it and I find that the bottom end has significant work done to it, I might just leave it as is. Because, you know, then I got to split the cases of my Johnson Red to get these in there. And how far am I willing to go for just so that I can run a Johnson Red? I don't know. This is already a known good runner. I've seen video of it. It's astonishingly fast. If I showed up with this saw to a race where they were running nitromethane, I would not be embarrassed. I would fare well. It would run well. I mean, I probably wouldn't win unless everybody else screwed up their cuts. And that's very possible. You know, a lot of stuff can happen. But I wouldn't be able to truly compete at that level with this saw. But a lot of the get-togethers are gas only. And this is a great learning platform. And I'll talk with other people that also might be very capable of just taking this and turning it into nitromethane. I don't know. I think the nitromethane needs a larger squish. I think it does. But I've got a lot to learn. And this right here is the right way to go about it. You know, get a saw that is known and already runs excellent, and go from there. So that's what I'm doing. Hopefully, though, I don't know, I bet you anything that crank has work done to it. And if it does, I'll probably just leave this saw as it is. Again, I'm not certain not 100% certain who built it. And I'm also not certain I should divulge that information. I don't know. But for right now, I think all of us can agree that it is just simply really cool that I finally got my hands on one of these. Finally. Very, very cool. And I hope you guys are happy with me. I hope you guys are enjoying what is ultimately my journey, you know? And I hope that you can see my growth. I know some of you have been open with that and you've told me things like, wow, you've learned a lot in a short period of time. And I definitely feel that I have. I know that I seem arrogant and cocky and stuff. And, you know, I mean, I am. But I'm very open and honest with the idea that I am learning. But I did start from a higher platform than most people do. I built race engines for motocross bikes and four-wheelers, dune shooters, you know, things like that. So I wasn't coming into this sport with my head empty. However, you know, so much of the stuff just simply does not apply. It does not apply to the chainsaw world. And this video I will edit on the computer so that if I feel like the camera got too close to the chain, I'll black it out. But, you know, I mean, the person's not that finicky about it. It does just look like a chainsaw chain. But yeah, no close-up still shots or anything like that. It is just a regular chain. It's just a regular chain. But yeah, a lot of people are really, really finicky. Don't have any shots showing it and things like that. But I'm happy, and hopefully this thing's really going to run. I don't know. You know, I truly, that saw that Cajun built for me, that thing is fast. That thing is fast. And it's not broken in yet. And whenever I ran it, it just got a regular chain on it, and I was running it in big red oak. So it's hard to tell where it would compete, where it would place whenever you run it in something like I run it in the big red oak, as compared to running it in a 12-inch block of pine and with a race chain. Because that chain, let's put it this way, okay? All right. In that big oak, pretty good sizable oak, it was about, I think that was probably like a legit 16 inches of red oak. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe 17 inches or so of good hard red oak. And we're talking about the 281 now. The Cajun built 281 and the running of it. In similar wood, my 620 that I just built and ported made it through that in a little over 12 seconds. The 281 made it through that in 8 seconds. I believe, right at 8 seconds. That's 4 seconds, and that doesn't seem like a lot. It really doesn't. But you know what else doesn't seem like a lot? Going quarter of a mile in 10 seconds versus going quarter of a mile in 9 seconds. You're like, that's not that big of a difference. That's only 1 second. Yeah, but you look at how far ahead the 9-second quarter a mile drag racer is compared to the 10-second quarter mile drag racer. They're a long ways apart. And so it is a big difference. And then, so you're talking, it took about 8 inches to get through 16 to 17 inches of red oak with an out-of-the-box Husqvarna chain. Now, imagine how fast it would get through 10 to 12 inches of pine, and you're running a race chain. So that saw that Cajun built for me, if you compared it to the nitromethane or whatever kind of special fuel that was being ran at the Alabama race that I went to, the 65cc class, the person who got the highest time, and I just remembered, that's the only one that sticks in my head because the announcer said it. He made it 3 cuts in under 7 seconds. It was like 6.8 seconds, let's say. Well, if the 281 that he built me made it through the big oak in 8 seconds with a regular chain, then I imagine it would probably be able to make it through pine with a race chain probably 3 seconds. And plus it's only 10 to 12 inch blocks of wood. So that puts the saw that, and this is just totally going off of speculation, what's in my head. I've never done this. But that would put Cajun's saw that he made me, if I had a perfect run, going through in 9 to 10 seconds. I think that's respectable. I do, you know. It would still be making it through like, it would be going through fast, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't know if it would be able to compete. Whenever they get running on that nitromethane and they're shoving so much of it in there, or whatever it is that they're running, I don't know. They're so fast. My God, they're so fast. It's absurd. If you've never been to a real race, go. It blows your mind how fast they are. And the race chain is a huge part of it. Huge part of it. So if I go back to another race, that chain I got will have to go on multiple different saws. I think a lot of people operate that way at first, but then they get to the level where they have a different chain for every class. That way they don't have to switch them out and everything. But I've got 2 good solid saws now that I wouldn't be afraid to race, I don't need to win. I just want to have fun and compete. And I think that this one will be very competitive. I think it very possibly is going to be faster than the 281 that Cajun built. In which case, most people, if they've got a saw in the 65cc class that's faster than the 80cc class, or 82, whatever it is, this is a 4 cube. So if my 4 cube is faster than my 5 cube, then I'm going to run my 4 cube. If my 4 cube is faster than my 6 cube, then I'm going to run my 4 cube in that class. So it might just be that I run this in every class. I don't know. We'd have to see. We definitely have to see. And maybe I do know that the carburetor that's on the 281 is a prime candidate for running the alternative fuels. It's one of the old style Tillotsons, and for some reason, that's what people point to as the carb to run that stuff. Or at least it used to be. Maybe things are changed. I don't know. Maybe things have changed. But this video tells you nothing because I don't know anything. I can't teach what I am currently learning about. See what I'm saying? But anyways, let's stop this video. I'll try and figure out a way to squirt fuel in there so that I can try and get it started. Maybe I'll do a run with it today. Maybe I won't. You're watching this video, so you know how it's going to go. I don't. I may try and start it and I can't get it to run. I don't know. But whatever's going to happen, it's going to be cool. All right. That's enough for now.